Following is a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
I make questionable decisions. I'll be in fight of my last soul. Judge me for my sins. If I'm your image.
What is up, Downers? Welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It's The System is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, and religion, all the things that trigger you, all the things that go bump in the night, all the things that your family praise don't bring up around the Thanksgiving dinner table. It's another Road Rage episode where I drive and yell about things, and you guys give me questions, and I yell about them, and I get distracted a lot, and I don't finish most of the points that I start out making, and the audio isn't great, and I risk my life for you, and, you know, other stuff. So we did the first one. I did the first one on the way down to St. Louis, as you know if you listened. If you didn't listen, I'm not going to recap a bunch of shit, so go back and listen to that. But, yeah, the plan was to do that and then maybe do a news episode from my Airbnb room and then do maybe some more questions on the way back or do some news on the way back. Now, I didn't do those things. Did the one on the way down, which you've already heard, I know, because you're a good person. And, yeah, I never really had a whole lot of downtime in the evening. There was like a lot of hangouts and stuff going on, different shoots and things. And, yeah, I'm not really, I don't know this area well enough to read any news. I wasn't going to read news articles. I was just going to rant about it. I'm sure some of it will come up. Whatever. Maybe I'll do one later. But if I say I'm going to do something, you bet your ass I definitely might do it. So, who knows? But today's episode is brought to you by you guys in the Downers Club. People like Level Zero. People like executive producer Stephen Hartman. Executive producer Jack Casey, who also wrote the Royal Green series, which includes the Royal Green in something throned and the latest one. There's a new one. There's a new book in the series. Go check them all out at theroyalgreen.com. Yes, it is a plug within inside of a plug. It's plugception. I know there's a joke there. I know it's not appropriate, so whatever. So, yeah, people like other people that are in the Downers Club are like, you know, the others that I can't think of right now. I think Carolina B is in there, which we did all the reads. I guess she would have to be in there since she was in the Downers Club. So, lots of people, lots of fun stuff, good family up in the house at the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System is Down. If you'd like to get your name on this list and you'd like to get bonus episodes of the show, typically every week, usually every week. Every week. I'll say every week, except for when there's like, I don't know, problems in doing that. Other than that, every week. In the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System is Down. Also, My Brave Botanicals is a sponsor. Get your free ounce of Kratom. Enter the promo code TSID and get your Delta 8 THC. That is some weed. And it works in the same way that weed does. And it's legal in almost all 50 states, I believe, to have it mailed to your door. You can get 5% off your order of Delta 8 THC by using the promo code TSID. And there's gummies, there's vapes, there's flour, there's pre-rolled joints, and all sorts of stuff. So check them out at mybravebotanicals.com. Promo code TSID. Okay, so we've got 5.7 miles on this stretch here. So to recap some of what happened, not going to recap what I talked about on the way to what happened. I'm going to recap what happened. It was okay. This camera festival was okay. I learned some things, and you know, it's fun even if you don't learn a whole lot. It's fun to get, like, there's models all over the place, and they're set up in, like, studio settings for these photographers to go around and take pictures of them, so I can go and like, pose them and stuff, and I can take video and use that in, I don't know, highlight reels and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to make anything super elaborate, but it looks super legit when you've got this footage that you took that looks like you spent a bunch of time on hair, makeup, attire, and a studio setup and lighting, and actually all you did was walk down a hallway and point your camera in a direction for about 15 to 25 seconds. So that's cool. Yeah, a lot of it seemed like it was way deader than it was 2 years ago when I went, but it is what it is. I'm sure it's a lot of because of COVID and rescheduling and all that type of thing, that a lot of people couldn't make it, and probably a lot of people still buying into the fear of this thing that makes them not want to go out to crowds. Now, if you did go out, there was a few people in masks out of, hundreds of people, if not, I think at least 1,000. Lots of people. I don't know. I don't judge numbers of people all that well, but a good amount of people in the Union Station Center, and a few masks, mostly not. And I talked to some people. I got to know, like, this guy, and he had some friends, and we started chatting, just hanging out at the parties and stuff. And they had, what the hell is that? Oh, it's supposed to be a dragon breathing fire for a mascot. It looks like a dragon with a beard, so that's even better. But this guy and his friends, they seem to lean pretty hard left, and just, like, we didn't get too deep into much. I did with one guy in particular. We ended up at the parking lot for like 2 hours talking about theology and libertarianism and even a little bit of conspiracy stuff. Just a random guy that I took some shots of, and he found me later on, and we were chatting. Really cool dude, but yeah, most of the people, I didn't get like super deep into politics. It would just it would only come up if it was like, oh, so do you just shoot weddings? I'm like, well, no, I also do politics. And then of course I have to explain it's not just your average everyday politics or political ads. It's fun shit. And they're like, oh, cool. And then they would talk a little bit about what they know about politics, which is like, I just think Mother Nature is awesome. And my politics will be whatever that is to defend that. Even if that means, I would imagine, giving the government more power to, make people's lives more miserable in some designed attempt to pretend like you are doing something for the environment. Now, so stuff like that led me to believe that, oh, this person is probably pretty left in some of the other things. Not just that. I don't just think if you like nature that you are a leftist, but it's probably the case. And so, point being, there's a lot of that type of people. It's at like an artsy-fartsy festival, so it can be expected. And no masks on 90% of them in a public place with a bunch of people, where, like, the day before and the day of Joe Biden announcing that he is going to mandate this bullshit. I think it's you have to either be vaxxed or tested weekly for all businesses over 100 people, which of course is just the most arbitrary of arbitrary, whatever the fuck we can get rules. Like, that's where we're at. Like, it's part of this, like, I don't want to call it a slippery slope. I feel like it's a desperate climb for relevancy, where they're like, we have this opportunity. It's like the one Asian reporter lady said, I don't remember her name, but she said, if we let everything open back up now, even if it makes sense to for the economy and stuff. How are we going to get people to take the vaccine? We have to have that carrot to dangle in front of them. And that's what this all is. It's like, well, the guards are down and people are really submissive. Let's see. Like, I don't think we're sliding down into a path. I feel like they're pushing and climbing this mountain to their ultimate goal of I don't know, ultimate power, world order, world governance. I feel like they're trying really hard to climb, and yeah, it's interesting that nobody, even the political people, the political lefties at this festival, the artsy-fartsy dorks, we're all just unmasked for the most part. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. That was a good moment to have that realization that on the night that he says that this is all going down, even lefties are like, no, nah, pass. At least when they're like having some drinks, they ain't wearing any masks. Of course, you can't drink while wearing a mask, but we were in much closer quarters while drinking than we were sitting in, classes and shit. So, I don't know. I'm trying to apply logic again, and it's futile. Yeah, so what else? Anything else at the festival? Talked to some cool speakers and stuff. Learned a couple tricks, lighting and shit. And, yeah, it was pretty dead. And like I said on the last episode, the video stuff there is pretty minimal anyway, normally, because it's just primarily a photography thing. So now that, like, I think I heard one of their bigger video guys who was supposed to be speaking had to drop out because of a family emergency. So that probably doesn't help, and they probably had to scramble to replace him. Nothing against the people who were speaking. One of them, whose name I don't recall, Asian dude, Ning, I believe, Ning Wong. He was really cool, and he talked about his experiences in filming weddings and stuff. And it's nice to, even if you're not learning something new, to have somebody confirming the conclusions that you came up with on your own. Like, I've done research over the years to figure out the best way for me to shoot this stuff and the way that is most comfortable for me. And a lot of what Ning said was exactly the same conclusions that I come to. And he charges way more than I do. So that was nice to have that affirmation. And yeah, he even shoots on essentially the same camera and everything. So that was cool. Because, it takes down a little bit of the imposter syndrome where you feel like you're not being honest, or like you're not supposed to be in a certain place. I feel like we all kind of have that to some degree, where you feel unqualified, I guess, to charge certain amounts or do or say certain things with confidence. It definitely takes away some of that, because I'm like, oh shit, well, this dude's traveling all over the world doing basically the same exact thing as me. I mean, he does a better job than I do in some aspects, because I have plenty of growth still. And yeah, but to see that, cool, just keep going. That was nice. Anyway, who cares? You don't care about this. You care about me answering your questions. And the questions will pick up where we left off in the Downers Club. If you would like to join the Downers Club, Downers get dibs, bro. Downers get dibs. And so anytime I do one of these, their questions are answered first. And there's a lot of them. So if you don't get into the Downers Club, and if you asked a question and you're not in the Downers Club, I'll probably be answering your question behind the paywall, because I'm a greedy capitalist bastard like that. And actually, it wasn't intended at all. There's just a whole lot of downer questions, and I will stick to my word on this. So, I also, at the hotel, had meant to check the audio to make sure it was turning out good in the last one. I didn't do that either, so this might sound terrible, or this might never be released, and then I just wasted a whole lot of time doing nothing. But, yeah, doing the clip-on again. Hopefully they both turn out good. If not, too bad. I don't know what to tell you. Nathan Titus from the Downers Club asks, what would you do with $1 billion? $1 billion. Honestly, I don't know. I know that I would, invest some of it, donate some of it. I'd probably buy an island first. And yeah, I think I could, at this point in life and in time especially, if I had to give you something more than just a, generic answer of I would invest or I would donate it, I would go buy a large amount of property that is away from everything. I'd probably try and start a country, but a country that doesn't require me allowing everybody to come invade it. I don't know. By that I mean, like, I want to live in the middle of nowhere, and I feel like a lot of people do. And if someone were to start their own, like, little anarchist country, I feel like it would be over-inhabited within seconds in the year 2021, because everybody's like, well, wait, so let me get this straight. The sales pitch is you've got all the technology, right? You set up all the business and stuff, like, things can function pretty normally. You've got an airport to get in and out, right? You've got internet, and you've got, make sure that's not a cop. I don't think I'm speeding. I'm just not paying attention. If it's pretty normal society and civilization minus government, like intrusive, awful, gigantic government, then I feel like everybody would jump in and try it out, and then it would just end up going to shit. So the most realistic, fun answer I could say is I'm going to buy an island. I'm going to make it my own private island, not inviting elite people there, but my own private island, and pay exorbitant amounts of money to have the technology installed and everything, like have the internet guy come out and set up my wireless router, basically. And I would have certain people that I pay good amounts to make that function, and then aside from that, I would just live in peace, live out my days. That's a very selfish answer. I would invite people here and there, like, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. I don't know what I would do exactly, because I'm sure, my brain can't even really fathom or wrap around what $1 billion even is. I'm aware that whatever it is, it's either far greater or far smaller than, it's probably far greater than I can understand, and still far smaller than the amount of money that it would take to buy, employ, and inhabit this island. So, whatever. 23 miles. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Tim Finnegan asks, how's it going? Tim, it's going okay. Like, I've had little sleep the last couple nights, but it's been pretty chill. I'm behind on work now because of it. I'm behind on podcasting. I'm behind on giving you this episode, as I promised. But other than that, things are pretty cool. We've got the government trying to literally force, like, how many times did I say it? Let's go back and somebody do a mash cut of all the times I said, oh, it's just a crazy conspiracy theory, to think that they would, the government would overpressure you to get injections, one injection, or it's just a crazy conspiracy theory for the government to lock everything down, or push for 2 injections, or we've got 2 pills daily now, 2 pills. I don't know, I'm sure I said that on the last one, but the fact that they even consider this a reality it hurts my brain. The idea that a governing body is definitely going to push for forcing everyone to be not only vaccinated, getting their second shot, getting their booster in 5 months, and taking medication, just taking pills twice a day. And Pfizer, with their largest lawsuit payout ever in history, which was, I believe, for baby powder. It's just baffling. Like, the reality is stranger than fiction. This is shit that if you put it into a book and said that you were going to try and sell this as like a movie or something, or a book, obviously. If you were trying to... Sorry, I'm really distracted by all the road, and it's really throwing me off my game. But if you tried to write this stuff into a script, people would be like, nobody's going to buy that shit. That the government mandated that everyone wear shit on their face, get injections, and take daily pills. Like, that is some sci-fi future, what's the word? Dystopian shit. That is so beyond belief that if they put it on a sci-fi movie, you want to buy it. But here we are. And maybe I'm being over dramatic, but I don't know how many times we have to go another chunk up on this shit mountain before I'm not being a crazy conspiracy theorist anymore. It was obvious that this stuff was going to go this direction. I had hope that it wouldn't, obviously, and there's still a part of me that thinks any day this is just going to blow over. There is a part of me that thinks that, and I think we kind of all do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be just having these general nothing burger conversations. We would be a little bit more freaked out and a little bit more, I don't know, in action. But our society has made us all, myself included, rather soft and gullible, I guess. So there's a line that can be crossed, as I mentioned in the last episode, where I will pack up and move wherever. I will figure that out when the time comes, but I don't know. It's like one more chunk and I'm out of here, guys. Like, it feels like a lot of people are just like, take one step closer and I will shoot you in the fucking face. You've walked down this hallway. This is trespassing. You're getting... I've shot off some warning shots. The next one's right up the middle. All metaphorically, all Minecraft, obviously. Yeah, I think some people are to their limit on this. Now, what we do with it, I don't know. How we do it, I think the best way is to start, like I said, screaming your fucking face off, that more people figure it out. Because some people I know are like a couple of the friends at Shutterfest. Most people, I would say, are probably like them, where they're like, yeah, I'm done with it. I'm over it. I got my injection, but I'm not gonna do like the booster in the pills and whatever. I'm not wearing this mask anymore, even though the CDC is saying to, again, for some reason. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I think most people are like that. And the question is just, when do you... I don't know. It's like even them, it's in their heads, I believe. Like they won't be the ones to speak out against this. So that's the question. It's like, at what point do they start actually being decent humans as well? And by that I mean supporting suffering people, children dying of depression and suicide, lockdowns, people out of jobs. One thing that I am curious about with this freaking new, whatever you want to call it, mandate rule, I am curious as to how it will impact places like Amazon or Google or whatever, like all the big chains that were really supported during the lockdowns. Like they were the only ones that were allowed to be open, but now they're the main ones that are going to be getting hit by this, right? Unless, like, is it 100 employees at each individual establishment? Because then McDonald's would probably be safe. I don't think most of them have probably more than 30 or 40, 50 maybe people. I don't know. And I suppose I don't know about the others. I know, like, Amazon warehouses are huge. They probably have to have at least 100 on staff, right? So I'm wondering how it will impact that. But I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what people are going to take, what they're going to do. There's a great chance they will succeed with this because they threaten that many people. And a lot of these are just working class folks just clocking in, putting some shit on a shelf, clocking out, and going back home. They're like, I didn't want to take the vaccine, but damn it, it's too hard now. They've gone too far, and now now my only choice. They've given me one choice. My one choice is to take the vaccine against my better moral judgment. But no, there is another choice, and it is to say, fuck this, let's strike, let's boycott, let's scream and yell, let's make some civil disobedience, as long as civil is a requirement to succeed, which you can weigh that however you like. But the question was, I believe, how's it going? My answer, Tim, it's going all right. How are you? Next question comes from Tim Finnegan. Let me make sure I don't have to turn here. Nope. Okay. Next question. He says, do you have to pee? Tim, I see you've listened to some of my former episodes of Rage Rants or Road Rage or Driving and Raging or Angry Dan risks his life for autistic ADHD jokes. No, I do not have to pee. I did have to pee, but I stopped to get gas before I started recording this. So I have been recently dispensed. Let's see. Tim Finnegan says, how about now? Yes. Tim Finnegan says, which is more likely, Alex Jones's Bill Hicks or the plane leaving Kabul, Afghanistan was a balloon? Which is more likely? I haven't even heard the Afghanistan balloon theory. Is that an actual thing, or is this a joke that I don't understand? So the plane leaving Kabul, Afghanistan was a balloon. Is that a thing? Like, I want to assume you're joking, but I can't, because some crazy shit is going on that is even crazier than the crazy fucking conspiracy theories all over the place. So I don't know anything about that, but Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, so it's really neither here nor there. Tim Finnegan asks, I'm trying to go around this curve here without dying, and a semi driving at me, of course. If I die, I hope and pray that this video survives so that we can watch it together in another life. If I die, take this video and put it up on the web. I give you my blessing. Signed, Dan Smots, DM. Were Slipknot the Beatles of Iowa and Southern Illinois? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, they kinda still are, I'd say. I don't know why Southern Illinois. I'm not in Southern Illinois. Maybe Western Illinois. That's more where we are. Northish, midish, westernish Illinois. Yeah. Slipknot has always been big around here since high school, which I think is pretty much when they started, when I was in high school. And there's never not. I don't know, like, if I leave the area, I've never like paid attention to whether there's more Slipknot t-shirts walking around the street on a regular basis than there is in Little Corn Town. But I would say there probably is a little bit higher of a Slipknot to douchebag ratio. That's not how ratios work. Something like that. Yeah. A lot more t-shirts, let's say. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're not like one of those guys that love Slipknot so much that they become like all those guys that you know that love Slipknot way too much, and then they're like kind of pompous assholes who feel like they understand music better than other people because Joey Jordison was a really good drummer, and that somehow has something to do with them. I'm not even sure what I'm talking about anymore. Let's move on. Yes, they were the Beatles. I mean, we're not uncultured swine enough to not be familiar with the Beatles. The Beatles are the Beatles still of Iowa and Southern Illinois. But when you've got someone as large as Slipknot come out of the middle of Corntown, yeah, we appreciate it. Respect. Let's see. Tim Finnegan asks, are any celebrity suicides actually suicides? I would imagine, if I had to guess and assume based on my own logic and understanding of how things work in the world, I would bet that a very large portion of them are actually suicides. Yes. Yeah, I know a large portion of them are also not suicides and cover-ups and things, or at least I suspect heavily that they are, and lots of evidence and logic points to them being so, but I would still imagine there's a whole lot of them that are actually suicides because of the nature of the beast of Hollywood and celebrityism and all of that stuff. Like, especially these kids that are like Michael Jackson, who did not kill himself, actually. So it's not really the best example, but where, you know, they get into the business young and they're kind of brainwashed and stunted growth mentally, and they're like stuck in the mind of a 12-year-old or whenever Disney picked them up and sucked their blood for the first time and put them on display, like Britney Spears and probably Justin Timberlake, I don't know. Yeah, you look at things like Britney Spears, especially, and all the crazy stuff going on around that. I don't even fully understand it, with like the conservatism, conservationership. I don't remember what the word is. But where her dad was basically controlling her and all that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too heavily. but she's going through a big, crazy legal battle and having what seems to be mental breakdowns, and it's not the first time. Where basically, to my understanding, her dad owned the rights to Britney Spears, essentially, and took a much larger cut than she did and made her do terrible things, and she couldn't do anything about it legally, and now she's like fighting it more legally, and now it's gonna work or something. I don't know. But yeah, I do think that some of them are suicides, because I can't imagine somebody going through that life and having that much attention for their entire life, and then just being a super well-rounded human that is like deep and searching for the meaning to any of this. It's like Kurt Cobain, probably also a bad example, but just because I don't think he killed himself. But he talked about how he, worked his whole life for, like, his dream was always fortune and fame, and then by the end he hated all of it, like he resented it. So I think it was him. I don't know. Whatever. So some of them do get out of it. I think Kanye West is on a strange journey of his own, and I don't even know what to think about him. But it is, even if Kanye West is a crazy person, Kanye West is at least thinking for himself, thinking outside the box, doing weird stuff, and seems to be a little bit more well-rounded because of that. Like, he's not just saying the exact same thing as every other fucking celebrity and then crying when people say the opposite or other things. Vague, I know. But I am giving you way longer answers to your nonsense questions than I'm sure you intended for me to, so I'm okay with it. Let's see. Any celebrity suicides? Hold on. Okay, what is the Fakertarian's problem? I don't get it. Is it mental illness? Who is that? Is that Tim? I don't know. I don't know any of these people personally. I don't want to assume anything about them. But what I do know is they at least present themselves in a public way that is very just pompously stupid, pompously retarded, like arrogant about their stupidity. And I haven't like watched their show a bunch or anything. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes. I saw the one with Nick, Ashley, and Josh Smith on, and I watched one or 2 others. Only when there's like somebody interesting going on. Oh, Jeremy Kaufman. I watched that one because he's a cool guy, and I knew it would be an interesting conversation. And he handled himself like he's just like the chillest dude ever. So yeah, I'm not like super familiar with them, but in the like 4 hours that I've wasted dedicating to see how this shit train rolls out of the station, it was like I don't know his name, the British dude who doesn't understand how jokes work. Like, anytime a joke is made, he's like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding?" And he'll repeat the joke verbatim back to them as though they said it literally. Like, maybe that's the problem. They're taking everything literally, even the stupidity that they say. Maybe they literally think that we're all somehow Nazis for, I don't even know what anymore, for talking to other people. Like, the craziest thing. And man, you shouldn't ask me about this while I'm doing a driving ranting episode, because I'm not zero filter, as you know if you've made it this far into the episodes. But fuck it. Where was I? He was okay. So the craziest thing is leaving my mind, and it was an important thing. So, I will continue to pontificate until it comes back to me. But yeah, their lack of understanding how jokes work, their lack of understanding how economics works. And look, I'm not saying I'm like an economics guru. I'm sure you all know that by now. And I'm not even saying I know the right answers, but good Lord, I know some of the wrong ones. And it's like these people don't even have answers. Like, there's not really, it's so surface level libertarian-ish wannabe, I don't know what the fuck, that if, like when Josh pushed back on anything and Nick Ashley pushed back on anything, they just fell apart, and it made absolutely no sense. Their rebuts made no sense. They just ended up looking up the definition of things that proved literally the opposite of what the point they were trying to make was true. Crazy fucking stuff. But the thing that I forgot that is now returned to me is they say, like, the only reason these people have a platform, to my understanding and to what I've seen, like, I don't know them from anything outside of this really annoyingly bad podcast. Oh, I did listen to about 20 minutes of their COVID episode, and the first 15 minutes, spoiler alert, first 15 minutes is literally Archie Flower trying to figure out how to open a fucking video file. And they just left it in. I like raw stuff too, but man, if you're that bad at your job, find a different job. But so they call people like Josh Smith and Dave Smith and the Spike Cohen, Jeremy Kaufman, everybody. They call everybody that they disagree with Nazis. And most of the time, like 75 to 80% of the time, it's probably, or it is because of them associating with other people that that the Fakertarians believe to be Nazis, or to be anti-Semitic, or to be whatever. Like Josh Smith, Dave Smith, these people talk to like Hotep Jesus, and like I want to be a little bit more specific because a lot of people hear the generalities here, and they're like, oh well, you know, that's just really vague, and maybe Hotep Jesus is a Nazi. I don't know. Hotep Jesus is not a Nazi. I don't know a ton about Hotep Jesus, but even like the stuff that they're citing is just not that interesting. It's not that good of an argument. I haven't dug into it in a while, but I did look at the articles and stuff that Hotep Jesus wrote at one point, where he said that they should align some with the alt-right, just the same way that certain people aligned in the past with the KKK. If it was politically helpful for the ultimate goal, on the issues that they agreed with them on, they would be fine with teaming up. That's my understanding. So Hotep Jesus is saying, you know, if the alt-right is pushing for, let's say, lesser government, just as a hypothetical, then we should agree with them on that and then disagree with them on the ways that they're stupid. And that makes him a Nazi because if you go back a couple years, the alt-right, they became Nazis too. Like, the alt-right wasn't always the go-to for Nazi. At one point in our history, long ago, children, the only people that were referred to as Nazis were fucking Nazis. And there's a lot of stupid alt-right people that want, like, they want segregation, or they're white supremacists or stuff like that. I don't know. I don't follow these people. I don't pay attention to them. But I know some of them are for that. Like, Richard Spencer is basically thinks that white people are superior and they need to have their own their own land where they can be alone to socialize. Whatever. Richard Spencer doesn't have any political power at all whatsoever. But if that's where you're like, he wasn't calling for genocide, he wasn't calling for killing people or anything. He was basically calling for some sort of weird segregation that will probably never happen unless the left-wingers get their way at this point, and we can all segregate for unity. But yeah, so even that is not Nazism. Like, the Nazis were not going around saying, I think white people should just have their own space to live by themselves, and you guys can go over here and do your thing, and they can go over there. That's not Nazism. So you follow this train back, and it's like every single person down the ladder that has been a boogeyman for these people, the Nazi goalpost has shifted to now we're to the point where it's like, okay, well, if you have talked to somebody, if Josh Smith talks to Hotep Jesus, just talks to him, not even about this topic, but if he just associates with him and isn't like screaming in his face, if he talks to him, then Hotep Jesus' stance on we should align with people that we disagree with on the alt-right, or associating with the alt-right and being fine with that as long as it's peaceful, that the alt-right aren't Nazis. Like, nobody on this entire spectrum that I've just laid out is a Nazi. Maybe there's a guy in the alt-right that wants to genocide a lot of people. Maybe, probably, okay. But you realize the association thing, even if Josh Smith had a fucking Nazi on his show, that does not de facto make Josh Smith a Nazi. So we're talking about 12 layers of not Nazis and associating with somebody who associated with somebody who associated with somebody, and on and on and on. And because you've moved this Nazi flag down the line and told everybody that all of these were Nazis, now you can say, because you talk to somebody who doesn't have that big of an issue, doesn't have our standards of an issue with the alt-right, then you are a Nazi. Now, all that to say, Josh Smith, Nazi, obviously, has been on the Fakertarians podcast. They have associated with a Nazi by their own definition. Their own made-up, completely bullshit, retarded definition now applies to them. So, let me turn here. This is not the time to be doing this. Anyway, that's way more time than we should spend on these people, but they are just, I don't know what it is. Like, the one dude pretending like he's gonna file a lawsuit because I used his face in a meme. Like, these people are just complete, I don't want to finish that sentence. They're dumb. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know them outside of the show. Inside of the show, I know that they're pretty dumb. And then outside of the show, I don't know them at all. So that is the amount of relevance that they have in my life. And I really don't lose sleep over their opinions of me or any of my friends. So there's that. But if you are one of these people, and if you are somebody who's spent the last 2 to 4 years, maybe less, maybe more, whatever, if you've spent that time calling other people Nazis and trying to ruin their lives and trying to get them politically assassinated, trying to get oh shit, on the side of the road there, I wish I could have stopped to take a picture. There was a septic tank with an American flag on it that said, "We are screwed." I think it did say "Back the Blue" on the side, but you know, you guys were almost there. kudos. Where was I? I need a drink. Yeah. I don't know. If you are one of these people that have been calling others Nazis and have been trying to get people fired, have been trying to get people politically assassinated, have been trying to just make people's lives miserable for no reason other than they're using the term libertarian, and it's not exactly my version of libertarianism, and I stay awake at night coming up with ways to attack my enemies who agree with me on most of the shit. If that's you, and Josh Smith is having John Hudak from the Figuritarians podcast on his show tonight, and I'm a very forgiving individual. If John Hudak goes on and he's like, dude, maybe I'm wrong about some things, and he's willing to be reasoned with, then I have no problem with that. Like, as I've said many times on the show, if somebody is an asshole, if they're stupid, like if they're hardcore into vaccine mandates or whatever, and then they change their mind, don't give them shit for it. Welcome them with open arms in whatever capacity that you can. Because we're all learning, we're all figuring this fucking thing out together. And some of us are just better at it than others. Some of us are just a little slower at getting on the train. But once you get on the train, when you're here, you're family. Now, I mean, be cautiously optimistic, I suppose, and don't just let people come in and stab you in the back because they said, oh, no, you're actually not a Nazi today, and then they get into your good graces. Don't, if they've been a shitbag, I'm not saying once a shitbag, always a shitbag, but if they've been a hardcore shitbag, like a lot of these people have, where they spend all their time trying to ruin people, then, if the fruit is there, you'll know, and give them a chance. But until then, I say for the most part, ignore, and let them flounder and figure it out on their own. I don't care. They don't impact my life in any way whatsoever. Please go ahead, file a lawsuit for me putting your face on a meme. Yeah, because that'll work out real well. Sure, do it. Anyway, that was way more time than I should have spent on that question. But Tim Finnegan asks, how's your wife? Whose name I'm not going to say right now, because after that long rant, the last thing I need to do is make it more easy for people to track down my family. My wife is well. All is well. I haven't seen her in a couple days, and I miss her, and I love her, and she's hot, so she's good. She is fighting some things, as I think I mentioned in the last one, fighting some legal stuff, and yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I haven't really talked to her too much since this new wave of mandate craziness, but all's well that is well. I don't know. So, small picture, we're good. Big picture, we'll see. Tim Finnegan asks, what is Antarctica? Well, Tim, I'm glad you asked. Antarctica is the center of the flat revolving disc of the world. It is a portal to hell and or heaven, depending on whether or not you asked Jesus to forgive you for your sins last night before bed. That is Antarctica, and it's very neat. It's cold, but it is 100% a portal to hell, much like the Figuritarians podcast. Tim Finnegan asks, what are cryptids? I believe, didn't I talk about that in the last one? Did you know? Are you asking me questions based on the last episode that I recorded that hasn't been released yet? Cryptids. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that is the term for things like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, the weird animals, the weird natural phenomenon, and stuff like that. What is that Mexican one? The Mexican jackal-y thing. I don't know. Oh, hey, a turn. I should do it. Yeah. That's what cryptids are. Please, Tim. Since you pay me monthly, let me Google that for you. Cryptids. Not really. I'm not going to. We're almost done with the Tim Finnegan Hour. Like I said, I answer all of them, whether they deserve to be answered or not. Here's a long one, of course, while I'm turning onto the interstate. Seems like a good time to read a paragraph. Thanks, Tim. You're a swell guy. Are we ruled by an entire horde of occultists dating back to Babylon with connections to antediluvian Nephilim, who spread out across various secret societies, the banking systems, and present-day NGOs and governments? Are you asking... Did you just ask me if Jews are Nephilim? I'm not sure. I don't know. As you already know, I like the Nephilim stuff. And, yeah, I already ranted about that. Once again, Tim Finnegan with the foresight to know before I release it what I will have talked about in the first one, so he can reference it as though this is a live stream. But are we ruled by them? You talking about Freemasons, or where are you going with this? I don't know. I don't know exactly what is. I do know that, I don't know, I did rant quite a bit about, like, the Jewish conspiracy theories and stuff, even on, the last podcast I was on. The name of that, once again, eludes me. Reality Czars podcast. And, you know, I talked about how, like, it's not, like, even the conspiracy theory is not, well, if you're Jewish, you're evil. The conspiracy theory idea is there's some people that call themselves Jews. They are not of the, generally, they're not of the Judaic religion, and they have been cast out of a lot of societies throughout the years, and they are bad, and they're calling themselves Jews. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. It's whatever. You can call, like, bad people are bad no matter what their religion is. I don't really give a shit what their religion is, or their upbringing, or their background, or their color, or anything like that. I don't like bad people doing bad things. So, like, if the Israeli government is a giant pile of dog shit, that doesn't make me anti-Semitic. It makes me anti-dog shit. And, I don't know. Like, I think that there are some people, like, if you want to get really conspiracy stuff deep, you know, there are some people, I would say, that are lying and calling themselves Jews who are using it as a cover for some of the shitty stuff that they're doing. Like, I have no issue with Jews. What I have an issue with is Pharisees. It's people that are harming others and using their religion or their location or whatever, just like in America when Christians are supporting war. I have a problem with that because that's not Christianity. So if the Israeli government is, like, genociding people and raping, pillaging, and plundering like monsters, I have a problem with that, and we should speak out against it. And if there are people in that same camp of assholes who also have a lot of power in other areas in the world, I think we should speak out against it. And I know, thank you, Tim, I'm sure talking about this topic right after talking about Fakertarians for like an hour is really gonna gain me some new followers in in some wonderful ways. So I'm going to move on from this topic. But I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what your sex is. Don't give a shit. Don't be a shitty person. The end. Done. Bye. Shitty people. Don't care. The Fakertarians are worse than the Jews. Oh, man. I might have to edit this one. I don't know if this is going to be public or not, but Tim, you'll at least hear this, so great. Maybe I'll put it out. I don't care. I know those guys don't understand what jokes are, so who cares? Tim Finnegan asks, what is the dumbest bumper sticker you've seen today? I haven't seen any bumper stickers today, but what I did see recently, and I made a mental note of it, so I'll bring it up here because this seems like the only time that it will make sense for me to ever bring this up. I noticed something that was like, grow your Instagram following at this website or something. I don't know why, but having that like really big on the back window of your car, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, people are driving around making a business off of grow your Instagram followers. Like, I'm not knocking on like gaining a following, but that's not what grow your Instagram followers is. Like, I don't know, I guess maybe coaching and social media stuff, it is value, it's all marketing, but I don't know what it is, but something about it just rubbed me weird. Like, I don't know. Grow your Instagram followers and contact them if you need to at growyourinsgramfollowers.com. I don't know. There was just something off. Like, something about our values as a society in general, where so much of our time is spent, so much of our mental energy, so much of our money. We're going to take a class on how to be popular on Instagram. Because, like, Instagram is fucking fake to begin with. So, you're going to spend your time being not just like fake you on Instagram, but fake somebody else on Instagram. So double fake. I guess that makes you real? Double negatives? I don't know. But that you're gonna get coaching on how to be the most successful fake human that you can be. And that you're going to just make that decision based off of some soccer mom's car sticker window. And she's got it figured out. Nothing against soccer moms, but, you know, if I told you somebody had a sticker, a gigantic sticker on their back window that said grow your Instagram followers here, and it looked a little bit, you know, effeminate, I guess. Who do you think? Whose countenance is in your mental picture? Because for me, it's a Karen. It's just a Karen. Let's see. Tim Finnegan. Last one, I believe, for Tim. Did a plane hit the Pentagon? Great question that I don't know. Dude. I don't know. Either one did, or Ryan Dawson's a plant. I don't know. Ryan Dawson, and I haven't watched his film or anything to find out. I do intend to, and I want to. I probably should before tomorrow even, because of this show that we're doing, because I need to bone up on my 9/11 knowledge. But he claims that there was plenty of footage to prove that it's a plane. And, like, which version is the PSYOP type thing when you've got two conspiracy theories but they're conflicting with each other? and at some point you just got to pick one and go with the one that makes the most sense. I don't know. Like, there was a small thing that got like 2 frames of airtime in all of this space of a plane flying through town and running into the side of a very low building. I would think that we'd have better evidence than that. Like, cell phone footage, nothing. Like, nobody had nothing. While all this other shit's going down, people aren't like out watching the skies, filming stuff, making sure, a plane doesn't fly through town, hit the Pentagon, and disintegrate into a black nothingness. I don't know. But what I do know is, even if it was a plane, we're talking about guys who never flew commercial airliners ever. Being able to do military-grade maneuvers in commercial airlines first try, and 2 of them were so good that they collapsed these, like, steel buildings that were, like, quadruple reinforced to never fall, and they were specifically designed to, keep a plane to not to withstand as little damage as possible if a plane flew into them. Like, these guys are amazing. That's how we should be looking at it. These guys are miracle workers, and they were able to pull off not just military maneuvers, but magical military maneuvers where planes can collapse into the sides of buildings, and then the whole thing just explodes for fun. Have I answered your question? Or are we lost here? Pentagon? Don't know. Nathan Titus asks, what is the difference between hip-hop and rap? I think hip-hop is where you're black and rap is where you're white. Like, when I was young, it was just my understanding that, like, I say that jokingly because it's not exactly that, but I feel like hip-hop was always more chill, whether you were black or white. Hip-hop was just the more chill version, and rap was more like, I don't know, like Eminem and Tom McDonald, and which they happen to be white, yes, but let's say Hopsin maybe, where they're like spitting fast, I don't know, like less, like compare Eminem to Snoop Dogg or whatever. Like, Snoop Dogg's chill and he's got like a flow and it's rapping, but Eminem's like rapid firing crazy strings and turns of phrases. I like both. I, of course, as a white man, I have to like rap a little bit more, but I don't think that there's any distinction anymore. Oh, my camera died again. Whatever. You guys get like an hour of video, if that even worked out, because I haven't checked that either. You get like an hour of video, and then you just get to listen to the rest. But until I get bored. Yeah. So the short answer is there is no difference. The long answer is black people do hip-hop, white people do rap. And I'm sure that's just my stupid white Corntown mentality that for some reason in my brain it is that way. I think it's probably because I spent a lot of time as a child trying to figure out what if there was a difference. Like, it's like something you don't want to ask. Like, what's the I feel like I should know the difference between this by now. I'm like 14, 15, I don't know. Some people call it rap, some people call it hip-hop. What's the difference? I don't know. I always called my music rap-hop because I didn't really understand any point to having these two different phrases anyway, because whatever. It's like good. It's like slam poetry with choruses and music. So call it whatever you want. Nathan Titus asks, favorite podcast? Now that is not a question, because there is no question mark at the end. My favorite podcast, I would say I go in waves of like, I'll listen to one for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and then I might tip over onto something else and then do like a 50-50 and then end up listening to primarily the something else. I don't know. I've had a lot of different waves like that where it's like I had a long time of listening to Jason Stapleton, and then I started listening to, I don't know, I don't even know why I gave the example of Jason Stapleton. I can't remember who I transitioned out of Jason Stapleton into. I still go back and listen to him every now and then, but it's like I get comfortable listening to one, and then something else captures my attention for a while, and then I dig deep into that. Right now, it's probably Dave Smith. Has been for a solid minute because of all the stuff that he's doing. I find it fascinating. And I find him to be, like, even aside from the libertarian stuff, it's like he's a great entertainer, and he's a funny guy, and he's a thoughtful guy. Has profound ideas and things. Even the parts that I disagree with, his thoughts have challenged mine in certain ways. In all this, despite the fact that Dave Smith is a coward who will not come on my show. I called you a Nazi, Dave. Come on the show. Yeah, it's Dave Smith at the moment. He's a thoughtful guy. He's a funny guy. He's an entertaining guy first, and then also he just happens to be great on the stuff. Like, it's like, I almost posted earlier. I might still post it. Whatever. You can steal it if you want to. But with the Mises Caucus, it's still like one of the, I guess, criticisms of the other sides of libertarianism. It's like, oh, it's like a social club. It's like a cool kids club, whatever. They can, stroke each other's egos together. Great, whatever. And I was thinking, like, Mises Caucus is that still. Like, to some extent, it's like, oh, it's the cool kids club. They've got all the cool guys. It's, yada yada. But isn't it great that the cool kids club is also right on all the shit? Like, it's not like it was the cool kids club and then they just happened to find all the people that are very principled on libertarian things. It's like a club was started by some ginger dude, like conspiracy-ish guy, Ron Paul supporter, just this dude, and he's like, I'm just gonna make something really principled and make a fun culture. And then he just stuck with that, and then the culture kind of grew out of the principles. Instead of, we're going to make a club, and all libertarians are welcome as long as they agree with us on X and Y. But that X and Y will change, it will shape with the culture, and we're not really sure what our purpose is. We think it's to spread liberty, but it kind of feels like it's to, shit on libertarians. I'm not even sure what I'm saying. What was even this question? Good Lord. I like part of the problem with Dave Smith, Nathan Titus. Thank you for asking. And frankly, I'm not a big fan of Legion of Skanks. I know that's heresy to some of you, but if they have like a good topic or an interesting guest on, I'll tune in. But generally, I'm just like, yeah, I like Dave, and I still like I like the other guys on Legion of Skanks as well. But it's a lot of the times just not my cup of tea as far as the humor. Like, I have no problem with sex jokes, but I don't find them funny. Like, I have no problem. I make some, but when it's like gross out sex jokes, I just find it like, I don't know, gross because of, I don't know, of the beauty that I think sex is, I guess. I don't know. Like, it just feels, It's not funny. It's not like it's uncomfortable. It's just like, ew, I don't care. Shut up. But, yeah, I don't listen to Legion and Skanks all that much because of that, and it is what it is. Speaking of, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but Wednesday, the something, like the 17th, I don't even know what day of the week it is right now, but this coming Wednesday, we're doing probably a live stream episode, having Anarcho Toad and Fat Dave Smith from one of my other, up there shows that I listen to, Tower Power Hour, and they're kind of the same. Like, they're kind of going for the Legion of Skanks ripoff thing, and it's fine. I don't take offense to the gross jokes. I'm just not gonna be the one typically making them, or if I'm not laughing, it's not because I'm offended. It's because I'm just not that amused. That's all. Anyway, so yeah, tune into that. I don't know what time yet. I don't remember. I do know. I have it on my calendar. I can probably check that while I drive. Let me see. It's supposed to be coming on at 7 o'clock Wednesday night with the Tower Power Hour guys. And if you have not checked out their podcast yet, and you like some, like, dude, I don't know, like, just bros chatting and making off-color jokes about everything, and a lot of times it being libertarian and stuff, check them out. They're cool. All right. So it's funny. I'm like, I disagree with... we could put this in one way, like, I don't appreciate your humor, kids, but I'm not telling you to stop. And I will have you on my show, and it's cool. I don't care. I'm sure we'll probably make some dick jokes while we're there. But that's not the opposite. I guess it's not really the opposite, but like the Fakertarians folks, I'll just say it. It seems like they don't give anybody, like, any grace at all. There's never a time where they're like, well, you could be right on this, but, or, hey, I've rethought that. Like, I don't like the thing that you said. However, I agree with you on blank. If I was, like, super staunch conservative to where I thought that anytime somebody tells a naughty joke that they're going to hell, then I would be much more opposed to this type of thing. But even then, I still wouldn't be like, you are a terrible person because you made that dick joke. Like, okay, who cares? You made that dick joke. Now, what else can we talk about? Because I'm not a big fan. I don't know. But when you call everybody Nazis down through the ages to get your jollies off on Twitter, then that sentence didn't need to be finished. Alright, so executive producer Stefan Hartman says, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to go with 12.7. Yes. Now, I haven't looked at the science, I haven't looked at the studies and the research. I am open to having my mind changed if presented with new compelling evidence that leads me to believe the contrary. But for the time being, 12.72 or whatever the hell I just said. Alright, this is the last one for the Downers Club. Stefan Hartman, executive producer Stefan Hartman, says, do you think that the new variant is actually the ones who are jabbed? Now, I've heard these theories. I have heard that there might be some compelling evidence to them. It does not mean I have personally dug too deeply into these theories, or that I know all that much about them. However, If you told me yes, I would not be surprised. If you told me that the reason why all of these people are insisting that you get vaccinated for their safety, the reason why Joe Biden and the powers that be and all the corruption and all the bullshit, the reason why they're doing it is to make the vaccinated people more sick and then blame that on the unvaccinated people in an attempt, obviously, to divide this country straight down the line. I would not be at all surprised. And I know that makes me a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I don't give a shit. I don't. Now, whether or not I think that's the case, I don't know. I don't know. I do find it oddly suspect and oddly suspicious that they're spending this much time and effort on complete and utter bullshit for no reason. Seems a little strange. What was it? Israel, who had the vaccine passport implemented first, and they had the worst COVID cases, like the highest amount of deaths or whatever after most of the people got vaccinated. Like, I don't know what you guys want. That seems oddly suspicious. And the fact that shortly thereafter, we're like, hey, that thing that they did, let's do that, but harder. Or Australia, they're doing so great, let's lock down again. Seems pretty odd. Seems pretty odd for your government that only sees you as numbers on a graph. That beast behemoth is trying to force you to get an injection and take 25 pills a day because it loves you, right? I've been saying this for years now, and I think, like, the more we can get this message out there to people, the more, like, it's the epitome of waking people up. If they can actually wrap their brain around what this means. Your government does not love you. Your government only exists because of you. It doesn't love you. It wants to exist. That is all. It wants to become bigger and more powerful. Your government is a goddamn virus. Now, your government does not love you, so why are they doing this? They're just so concerned about your well-being that they have to force you to do a thing. Like, Joe Biden ran on the ideas of unity. Unity. We've got the left burning everything down and the right going on retarded selfie tours and getting arrested for their entire lives and all this shit, like the racial stuff and the culture war dumb stuff. Like, yes, Joe Biden was going to be the one to unite us, right? Because people are crazy on both sides, and he's just this really sane, really stable, really healthy man wearing sunglasses and falling upstairs. He's going to be the one to bring us unity, and he's going to bring with him, just to make sure we unify everyone, just to make sure, let's bring in the lowest approval rated candidate on the back burner to throw to the wolves because she's a black woman. And I'm not making that up. That is what Joe Biden said. We'll throw her in there. And, she's got a terrible track record as well. She's a cop. She's just a monster in every way, and so is Joe Biden, and so is Trump now, in my opinion. But what are we even talking about? Your government doesn't love you. And Joe Biden is going to be the unity ticket. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And as soon as they got the power, what did they do? Now, if you believe that the elections are not ever rigged and everything flows perfectly, and which would mean, Donald Trump got elected too. If you believe that, then sorry, I'm paying attention to the road again. It's very difficult. If you believe that the system functions the way that they tell you it does, and you believe that your vote mattered and all that, then Joe Biden got elected and represents all of us. But Joe Biden got elected by anti-Trumpers on the left and the right, and the hard left, like the Antifa folks, they don't really support Joe Biden. They were just anti-Trump. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know what to think anymore. Your government doesn't love you. Your government needs you. That is all. So the best way to, I guess, stifle out a fire is by building brick by brick this, suffocation device to snuff this flame out. Not the flame of liberty, don't misunderstand me. The flame of power, the Sauron flame. The only time your government does anything that's in your favor, if the government does something and it's in your favor, just know that it worked out even better for them. The government's going to do what's best for it always, and sometimes we benefit from that. And no times do we really have that much of a say in what that is. At least on the national level. But the only time they're ever doing anything to help you, it's like by accident. It's like there's a giant, let's say Nephilim, sitting at a table, and you're Jack and the Beanstalk down on the floor trying to get up onto the table to get some food because you're starving to death. And every now and then, the Nephilim will take a bite and a little piece of shit falls down for you to eat. That is what government helping you is. It's a giant beast monster that every now and then accidentally helps. And what libertarians want to do, some of them, is to climb up onto the table, just start pushing shit onto the floor. Maybe chop off the head of the giant. I mean, definitely do that, but we might have to start hacking away at his feet first, but it's going to take bravery to start hacking away at the feet. But as we chop and chop, it just gets lower and lower and gets more angry. But eventually, if there's enough of us, he can't take us all. He can't eat us all. And it's like the Ron Paul campaign was like up to the shins, and then he took a big old swipe and just scattered. But the only way that we can live freely as ourselves is by, to some degree, working together with people that we disagree with. Because there are things that are more important than whether or not retards are calling assholes Nazis on Twitter. Or whatever you want to call each other. I don't care. I don't care. But there is much more important things. Those things are certainly entertaining, but we shouldn't spend the majority of our time on that. We should either... There's two options. Either you are somebody who is interested in furthering the cause of liberty, and we disagree respectfully and work together. Like, we disagree on certain things respectfully and work together. And Spike Cohen is trying to call me. Sorry, Spike. You'll have to wait a minute. Either that, or you're just not a part of any of this, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of time debating you or conversing with you. If you've got a respectful argument, I will certainly hear anybody out, but I don't see much value in spending time acknowledging the existence of people whose only goal seems to be to, I don't know, hurt this, hurt us, hurt themselves. I mean, there's got to be some self-harm in there, right? There's got to be some darkness and some depression to live that kind of life. And again, if you're respectful and you disagree, that's my whole shtick, is respectfully disagreeing with people. Like, having the conversation, having an open mind, and discussing things that we disagree with. Because I don't think the person you're arguing with online, they're probably not your real enemy. I think that there is a larger enemy in more ways than one. Should be our focus, but we have to have the conversations. So I'm saying I will have the conversation with you, but if it's not in good faith, I don't care if you exist at all. Okay? Is that clear enough? Of course, you make me care when you attack my friends, because I will come to the aid and defense in whatever way I can to defend my friends. Because, yeah, fuck you. All right, guys, I think that's it. This is probably going to be a main episode. Maybe you'll get the unedited version on the Downers Club, but might cut out a couple things in there. I don't know. Probably won't. Probably don't care. But thank you guys so much for listening. There's a bunch more questions I know from people, from the normies outside of the Downers Club, and I would like to get to those at some point. I got to take this phone call at the moment, so we'll see if I have any time to do that. I still have an hour and a half drive left, but if you've ever talked to Spike on the phone, you know that an hour and a half is a decent amount of time to dedicate to the conversation. No, I love Spike, and he's one of my favorite humans. But yeah, if you are a normie, if you are not in the Downers Club, go join, and I will try to answer your questions as well within some sort of reasonable amount of time that will be there, is my intention. You can check and see if it's there before you join if you need to know. Or you can just join at patreon.com/thesystemIsDown. We'll get more weird, more raw, more fun, more offensive, more uncomfortable, more weekly bonus episodes of the show. Weekly bonus episodes every week. Patreon.com/thesystemIsDown. Also go to thesystemisdown.tv. That is the new website designed by my good friend Rick Duran. If anybody needs web design, I don't think he has a business all set up yet, but he does a fantastic job, and he's an awesome dude, and he and I are probably going to be working on some things where I design and he does the coding for all of it, so you can get a team up and get your shit looking nice for your business, your campaign, or your what have you. Two Liberty guys working for you. Excuse me. So check that out. Hit me up if you want anything, and we'll get you in touch, get your website going, and looking sexy. And let's drive carefully here. Okay. Yeah. Systemisdown.tv. We've got at TSIDpod is the Twitter handle, and I believe the Instagram as well. And you can, if you want to join the forum, the secret forum on Facebook, you can join that by looking up TSID is down forum on Facebook because our old one got kicked off right when things were like going well and stuff. But who cares? We deal and we roll with the punches and figure things out, as we will have to continue to do as things get more insane. If you have made it this far into the episode and you actually listened past where I talked about those things like the Downers Club and the forum and all that stuff, if you've made it here, the password is, I don't know, Pharisee-tarians. Nobody's gonna get that one unless they listen to the unedited version of this. Whatever. Pharisee-tarians. Let's say that. I don't know. Pharisees. Like, the only reason I'm rethinking this is because those two things have nothing to do with each other. Like, they're just two things I talked about on this episode and mashed them together. There's more Jews in the Mises Caucus than there are in the Fakertarians, so who gives a shit what they think? But, yeah, let's say Pharisee-tarians, and we'll roll with that. Let me know that you made it this far by dropping that or something alluding to that in, the Downers Club or the Facebook group or the Twitter or wherever you interact with me. Ever. Dan at tsidpod.com. Send me the password and I will know you made it this far. But to all of you, thank you, and I will talk to you on the other side of this, and we'll get back to doing some news here very, very soon because there's way too much to be talking about. A lot of it will be similar to this and on probably some of the same topics, but I had a ton of stuff written down for the news, and then the world just fucking ended. So there's not, some of these are going to get thrown out anyway. So all of this rambling and ranting, a lot of the stuff that was going to be in the news ended up in here, so cool. You guys ask good questions because you're awesome and you're downers, and I appreciate you. Anyway, guys, until next time, please continue to question all the things, stay all the sorts of uncomfortable, be bad, have fun, live your life, think for yourself, Don't be afraid, be cautious, but be optimistic, and have an open mind. Know what you believe and why you believe it, and be willing to change your mind if presented with new information. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna go drive and do some spike chatting. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.